people like, who sell cruise holidays and things like that, saying, yeah, we're looking for a new Cromwell at this point. And apparently 1 in 5 people feel they would actively participate in a violent revolution. That came out today.
Hello, I'm here today with Dan Wootton, and we've just been seeing you on the stage, and it's been very, very lively.
Oh my God.
Yes. As we all know that you previously worked in mainstream media, what was the key moment that led you to kind of found your own platform?
Well, it wasn't really my choice, to be honest. A lot of people know this. I had like an incident on air with Lawrence Fox saying something which was deemed like so terrible that I should lose my whole career, and there'd been a big cancellation campaign against me. But actually, now I look back and I'm so grateful that happened. But obviously at the time it was incredibly difficult, because when the cancel culture mob comes for you, it is just one of the most horrible experiences you can ever go through in life. And remember, I was being cancelled for laughing at a joke that was deemed a little bit saucy. Lawrence basically said he didn't want to shag this woman, Ava Santina. And it was like after the watershed at night, like the whole thing was sort of insane.
What do you appreciate most about new media?
Oh my God, I love it. I love it. My favourite messages in the world that I get are when people who message me and say, Dan, I can really tell that now you're not part of the mainstream media, you are free. Because honestly, I am. And it's hard, like it's all on you. But I'm very, very inspired, especially by the Americans. I mean, obviously I love the New Culture Forum, love Trigonometry, love Lotus Easy. There's lots of organizations, but what I was inspired by were the individual Americans who had done such incredible things. So before launching, I spoke to my friend Megyn Kelly, Dan Bongino, who's now Deputy Director of the FBI, but at the time he was the biggest American independent broadcaster on Rumble, and Dave Rubin as well. And all of them were so supportive, and their basic message was GB News folded quicker than a cheap suit, but there is this huge opportunity for you. And now I'm 1 year, really 18 months into this, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so happy. This is the most awesome thing I've ever been able to do. But don't get me wrong, it's hard, and there are challenges, and the challenges that we face are from organizations like the Off-Communists, the government regulator, who want to shut down independent voices, even on YouTube, and back sort of the legacy media operations like the British Bashing Corporation, Woke ITV, and Sly News.
Where can viewers find more of you?
Well, Outspoken is cross-platform, but I guess the real places that I love people to sign up are YouTube, and also my Substack, which is outspoken.live. Because the thing about Substack, I know you guys are on there too, it's a true free speech platform, so there's a lot of protections from being part of Substack.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello, so it's lovely to see you here with your hat and, having a great time and networking with everyone. What does this event mean to you?
Well, we're just all fighting for our freedom, for our sovereignty. Things have got so bad now that it's almost unbelievable, to be honest. So I follow Ben Habib. We go to Ben Habib's meetings, and I follow Peter Whittle, and because he was in UKIP so I've known him a long time. And there are a lot of people that I always look out for people to see if I know them, because we all tend to go to the same events, don't we?
I feel like we're all very much a family here that kind of look out for one another. We love your hat. It's absolutely gorgeous. And would you like to see kind of more people being able to wear these hats with more pride?
I would do, because I've been stopped so many times at the supermarket. I wear it, and people stop me there and say, I like your hat, and then that strikes up a conversation. This is the main thing. It's striking up a conversation with people.
Have you ever had anyone kind of say negative things about your hat?
No, not at all. No, I've never had anybody, say awful things to me about it at all.
That's really reassuring to know, and I think we all now next time need to wear the hats. Everyone, it probably should be mandatory. What role do you think new media is playing in British politics at the moment, or even in the past few years?
new media has revolutionized the way that people engage with content. Too often, the majority of the population of this country still, to a large degree, get their news curated by the editors at the BBC, at Sky News and elsewhere. And so for far too long, we haven't been able to see the full story. But anybody with access to YouTube now, to Twitter, can actually see the news that the legacy media aren't telling you. That's why I think you're seeing the British people suddenly wake up to the reality of the fundamental change that's happening in this country. We're seeing this with migrant protests, for example. They are now able to, also through independent journalists as well now, really understand the crux of the issues that are facing this country, rather than being sold once again down the river by the legacy media, who invariably deflect these things away. At the same time, we still have a long way to go, because there are only, as I always like to say, there are only 20 million Twitter accounts in the country. Most people aren't actually engaged with social media, but as more and more people come online, come to places like the New Cultural Forum and the other wonderful platforms that we have around here, I think that the scales will drop from their eyes and they'll see Britain for how it really is.
That's, as usual, a fantastic answer from you. And, wonderfully, the New Culture Forum is going to be reaching its 20-year anniversary very soon. What role would you say that the NCF has played in new media over the past few years, or even over the past 20?
So the NCF has been at the heart of the great change that we've seen in terms of the cultural lay of the land politically, in terms of media. So next year, 2006, we were founded. In fact, our very first Smith lecture was delivered by Nigel Farage, and he spoke about social media's importance. So years ago, we gave the first talk where we actually understood the sea change that was going to happen through platforms and social media. We're very proud to have been ahead of the curve in terms of our broadcasting platforms. It was just us and Trigonometry at one point, and Lotus Eaters, that were the only channels around. And I have to say, of all the think tanks that exist, no other think tank comes close to our reach. Hundreds of thousands of subscribers, millions of views a month. We are setting the agenda in so many ways.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you. So, how do you feel that new media has impacted British politics in the past 10 years?
I think that we wouldn't be anywhere near having the conversations that we have without it, actually. I don't think Keir Starmer's Island of Strangers speech would have happened without the online right-wing media in particular. The online left-wing media is, frankly, a bit toothless and only capable of pressuring the Labour Party internally. But for the national dialogue, I think that it's the right-wing media that genuinely represents the authentic voice of the country, because we're the ones who have been betrayed over and over and over. No one ever voted for anything that approaches the current situation, and it's getting to the point now where most people are just so unhappy with this that you're starting to hear quite radical things coming out of their mouths. I saw a study, a series of focus groups done by the More in Common Foundation, where they were finding that middle class people who sell cruise holidays and things like that, saying, yeah, we're looking for a new Cromwell at this point. And apparently 1 in 5 people feel they would actively participate in a violent revolution. That came out today. And so it's at the point where things are reaching a boiling point. And I think that the ability to talk about this and actually diffuse the tension and deal with these problems democratically can only be done with the existence of the alternative media. The mainstream media, of course, can't broach this at all.
So was there a particular moment, obviously you've just discussed kind of events and examples of things that have really, spurred a lot of people on, but was there a particular moment that led you to found Lotus Eaters?
Getting demonetized on YouTube. You realise that the platforms are not safe platforms, they're not on your side, and if it becomes politically expedient to get rid of you, then they will. So it's better to have a platform of your own that you're in control of, and that people can subscribe to you directly, so that there isn't some blue-head leftist in California who just flicks the off switch and shuts you down.
So do you think there's anything that the new media world, despite being so successful, is currently failing to address at the moment?
I think there is a temptation in the new media to... I'm not saying that they're doing this, but one danger of being successful independent creators is the temptation to indulge in drama, where you make content about other creators rather than about events. Now, this isn't something that's happening a lot at the moment, but it's possible that this will come along, and I think this will be to the detriment of the new media as a whole.
Hello, I'm here today with Peter Whittle, founder of the New Culture Forum, as you all know. How are you, Peter?
Very well. All the better for seeing you, Emily. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. Last night you were recording, footage and interviewing people outside the migrant hotel protest last night. How was that, and how do you feel like new media is addressing these kind of things? As you may have seen, on Sky News, BBC, they haven't really been picking up anything about these protests. So how do you feel, you have been delivering on that front?
Well, when we were there last night, we were here. I was there with Ollie, who's filming this. I would say that we were there. I saw Maya Tousi there and Constantine. So basically, new media were doing quite well, right? This was at the Britannia Hotel in, as you say, in Canary Wharf. But I didn't see any BBC or Sky at that point. I think the main point is this, is that they might actually cover it, but I don't think they speak to many of the people. And I think also what I think is possible too is that the people going, if you like, on our side of the argument, they are more and more wary of talking to these channels, simply because they think I'm not going to be stitched up. They're going to want to make me look like a bigot or whatever it is. So when we come along, they know at least they're in safe hands. But it's peaceful. Along come the Antifa people. Hugely noisy and all the rest of it, total freaks, But what I said in that video that we put out today was that I really hope that people peacefully go and protest, find out where it's happening in your area. It's not that difficult, actually. Find out, and then go along and do what these women have done down in Epping, or what people were doing last night, and that way get the voices out, voices heard.
Yes.
So it's crucial.
Thank you so much. And as I said with Rafe earlier, New Culture Forum is going to be reaching its 20-year milestone fairly soon. Are there any particular moments in the New Culture Forum's journey that really stood out to you and that you're very proud of?
God, that's a good one. I'd say that, actually, I'd say this. All to do with money. The first time was when we got our first little bit of money from a donor, who's unfortunately no longer with us. But we were doing our first report ever, which was about why we should abolish the Arts Council. And we were given, I think it was, the amount of money was about £10,000 in order to do this report. And I remember thinking at the time, we've arrived, I've managed to convince someone, But truly after that, there's nothing like getting what they call core funding. Ask anyone who's here today, the funding that allows you to go on. And got that was about a good 5 years later. And so basically those were very stand-up moments when I really felt that we were onto something really kind of quite big. But, actually I think in more recent years now, when I go to a conference of our locals branches, we've now got over 40. That's when I sort of think, wow, I would never have thought we would have had this.
Yeah.
I never would have thought we'd have had this. So, I'm sort of beaming with pride about it, and I'm very, very pleased. And, here's to another 20 years. It would be nice to say that there's not going to be the need for us in 20 years. I somehow think there will be.
It is, wonderful to look back and reflect, and there are a lot of platforms here today, but I will say, and I'm sure as you will agree, the New Culture Forum most likely was potentially here first, and that's something very much to remember. Just one more question. Where do you see kind of the new media world heading in the next 5 years, and do you think there could be any challenges or anything that could affect it?
Well, I think there's going to be free speech challenges, and it's very, very difficult to work out when that is being suppressed in some way. I think that is, as the situation in the country becomes more febrile, they'll look at people like us and they'll basically start to think this is, be more restrictive and constrictive. We've always got to keep our eye out for that. It's very, very difficult. But I think that the mainstream media will continue to decline. So really, ours is, the world and all that's in it.
Hello, I'm here with Andrew Gold, the founder and host of the Heretics podcast. Andrew, how are you finding today so far?
Very stressful, actually, but good. Lots of good fun. I got in a big sort of fight with someone I won't go into too much this morning, the verbal one, obviously. And what else happened? I went on the stage. People were very nice. I do have some concerns around a kind of cancel culture on our side. There were people here who were trying to speak, such as Benjamin Butterworth, who was trying to speak from a leftist side, and I would rather hear out what he has to say and then rebut it with words. But he was being silenced in a way that I personally don't like, but I understand why people do it. But aside from that, he's a legend. It's lovely doing a panel right now with Peter Whittle, so I'm having a blast.
That's great to know. Thank you so much. And, earlier on today, you talked a bit about your journey and, leaving the BBC and founding your own platform. What kind of freedoms do you feel you enjoy most from having your own platform in comparison to when you previously worked for the BBC?
Oh, so much. Well, I should just say I never actually worked for the BBC. I just have that sort of as a fallen BBC or journalist. I say that because I like how that sounds. I just made one documentary that I sold to them, which was very hard to do. And then after that, I was basically told you can't be on screen anymore as a white presenter. So since then, when you make documentaries with the BBC, there is duty of care, which obviously is important. It means looking after your interviewees, making sure that they're okay. So obviously very important, actually. And they have legal checks, which is also very important. I feel that over time, with a lot of people working together, those kinds of things become restrictions, and they make for quite a cultish environment when everybody is scared to speak out because there's a hierarchy and you can't actually say what you feel or what you know to be true and what you see around you. And that was a big problem. Whereas on Heretics, I still care a lot about my interviewees. I always say to them, if this is traumatic for you, you've got to tell us, don't come on because I don't want you to come on and then later say you don't want it. All of those kinds of things we have to think about. And legal checks, of course, we want to be accurate. But the difference is if I go out in the street and I see something in front of me that nobody in this street speaks English where I live, for example, I don't have to get the permission of about 1,000 people at the BBC to publish that. I go on my channel and I talk about it and it's true. So that is a huge relief for any journalist. And it's actually a privilege that journalists have almost never had in history. So we're very fortunate to do what we do.
Yes, and a little bit more on that. Is there a particular topic or theme that you are proud to have kind of uncovered more about over the past year? Because obviously Heretics is quite a young podcast, but it's grown rapidly. But yeah, is there a particular kind of topic that you've really brought to light that you're very proud of? It is a tricky question because it's a lot. I'd
have to really think about it. It is a hard one because I've done 200 episodes or so. We did a lot on gender at the beginning and we stopped. And I suppose I'm proud in that sense. Connie Shaw, who's a friend of mine now, she came on Heretics recently and she said one of the things that made her speak out at Leeds University when she didn't want to go along with the gender insanity was having watched Heretics. So she was watching it right near the beginning. And that was a really beautiful moment for me because I had not even considered it. I think she told me that earlier and I forgot. But when she was telling me that again on the podcast, it really meant a lot to me. And she's such a sensible person. It's not like, some lunatic in the street. And all the time, sensible people come over. People like you, I won't say your name for privacy reasons, and people watching. They're normal, nice people. And so that has been so beautiful to see. Because when I started, it's like, oh God, what's going to happen? And people are going to come over and go like, oh mate, let's kill all these people. But they don't. They're sweet, nice people.
And so overall, where do you see kind of the new media movement heading in the next 5 years?
I think it will fracture. I think there are certainly fractures between some of us, like the NCF, who are very serious in what you guys do. You're very well respected. You report on truth, and you are very well admired across the industry. And then there are some more sort of tabloidy YouTubers and creators who are not necessarily known for telling truth and are more worried about clickbait and things like that. I think there's going to be a split there. Between sort of tabloid and serious, and there's also going to be a split between those of us who continue to hold liberal values, such as free speech, and that even means free speech when the left are saying things that we don't like, and those of us on the right who want to cancel those on the left who we don't like, rather than engage with them. I think that's where there might be a split in the coming years. But we are on both sides of that, growing, and I'm pleased to see that.
It's some really interesting answers from you. Andrew, where can we find you?
Heretics. Go to Heretics. Spotify is growing. The Spotify one, we're trying to get that bigger now, and Apple, but YouTube is where the most subscribers are. Just come to Heretics, watch all the videos.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks. Hello, I'm here today with the Apostate Prophet. How's today gone for you so far?
It's very good, fantastic. I'm loving it here. It's a very good event. There's been a lot of important stuff said, and I also see that the audience really likes, hearing the takes on free speech and really takes it seriously. And there are lots of people who are here because they care about what is being done here at the conference.
This is, as you most likely know, the first Tousi TV event of its kind. And where do you see events like these going in the next 5 years? Do you think they'll become a lot more, common or not?
I think they will be more common. Just today, there are actually several protests going on across the country in favor of what Tousi TV does, for example. Tousi TV is doing a very big thing today. This is the first of many events to come. I talked to him yesterday, and he's actually he's very happy with the outcome. And I see that tickets are sold out, so many people are in attendance. So much important stuff is said, and he has plans to continue this even further. And I think Tousi TV is awesome, Meyer Tousi is awesome, but while he is starting this movement, he's also encouraging others to do the same thing as well. So I think this is going to be big,
Thank you. Is there anything, as a final question, that you feel like could have been talked about more today, or that the whole new media world maybe needs to do a little bit more of, whether it's more events or...
I think there is, we always need to talk more about Islam. And I say that because I built my whole platform about Islam and about telling the truth about Islam and Islamization and all that. And I think it's unfortunately a topic, even when we have, when the politics of the right, for example, or the center, whatever you want to call it, are satisfied, there still needs to be more talk about Islam that needs to be more blunt, more honest, more direct. People need to be aware of what Islam is and how dangerous and how bad it is, and how the demographic change that happened over the last decades has really compromised the future of this country and of similar countries. I think I'm very happy that I'm here and that I can talk about this, that Meyer is here. I know he has a good stance on this. But I would like to see this event and future events and similar events include that kind of stuff much more often. I think it's important. Yeah.
That's absolutely fantastic. And where can we find you?
You can find me on YouTube, Apostate Prophet, and also on X. I was going to say Twitter, but you can't say that anymore. Also as Apostate Prophet, so that's where I am. Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
And on the topic of migration, which is an area that you focus on, what would you say the key differences were when it comes to new media and more mainstream media?
There's a lot more of it, for sure. You don't have to wait sort of weeks on end to get an article in the paper and get your word out that way. You don't have to rely on the sort of traditional media that was available for broadcast. There's just so much more of it now, and you've got more time really to make your points and say the sort of things that perhaps were a little difficult to say.
That's brilliant.
Even a few years ago.
Our mission at the New Culture Forum is and always has been to defend and celebrate Britain's history, culture and its people, and indeed Western civilization, at a time when both are under sustained attack. We have grown from small beginnings to become the country's most influential right-leaning cultural think tank. Our content is watched and read by some of Britain's most influential political figures. But now, we need your help. If you believe in what we do, then please do become a member. For as little as £4 a month, you can make a vital contribution to what we do. As a member of the NCF family, you will help ensure that we can continue to produce quality content online, such as our 3 weekly programs, Whittle, which is our flagship interview show, Newspeak, our panel discussion show, and Deprogrammed, which is targeted at Britain's youth. As you probably know, in addition, we produce important documentaries such as our critically acclaimed 6-part series, The West, a stunning celebration of the history and genius of Western civilization, and our ongoing documentary series, Heresies, with hard-hitting episodes tackling subjects such as immigration, gender ideology, and BBC bias. But the New Culture Forum is much more than a YouTube channel. We don't just complain about Britain as it is, we provide real solutions and clear policies on how we can push back against the madness and restore sanity to this nation. Our presenters are now highly sought after and have become familiar faces across the media. Our prestigious annual Smith Lecture and our regional and indeed national conferences have attracted world-class speakers. Perhaps most importantly, we are the only organisation on the right of politics that has launched a national movement without actually being a political party. And uniquely, through our NCF Locals programme, we've established some 30 active branches in towns and cities right across the nation, from Edinburgh to Exeter, and with many more on the way. We're very proud of what we've achieved, and our members have made it possible. In return, our members receive access to exclusive content, invitations to private events, free or discounted tickets to our conferences and lectures, free copies of our books, and much more. I very much hope that you'll join us too by clicking the link in the description or going to our website, newcultureforum.org.uk. Now is the time that we need your help. Thank you.